did you experience live music for the first time? I'm not talking about the real concerts with the big stage and the crowds. No, I'm talking about these guys. They are buskers, street musicians. And that first encounter with live music happens in the streets when you're just a kid. And when I was a little girl, littler, I was walking in town with my mom. We were shopping, and something got my attention. It was a bald guy with a guitar, and he was singing. And even though not many people were paying attention to him, he just stood there with a smile, and he just kept on playing. And I was wondering, like, who is this guy? How long has he been standing there? And most of all, why is he playing in the streets? For money, of course, but maybe there's more to it. If you play music, in a way, you show what you feel. Sharing music means sharing feelings. And the bald guy with the guitar, he reached me with his feelings. And at that time, I didn't know yet I was going to take his place because I haven't seen him since. But back then, I used to be really shy. I had no self-confidence, and I didn't dare to speak in public. And whenever I did have to speak, people really had to drag it out of me. And when at school there was a conflict, I always started crying. I never stood up for myself. And that made me an easy target for bullies. And they made me feel even more insecure about myself. And every day after school, I came home and I locked myself up in my room and I just listened to music. Because when I was doing that, I was in my own world. I didn't have to think about the daily problems. Music was my escape. And I really admired these makers of the music, these artists, especially when they're guys with guitars, because they're cute. They always seem to attract a lot of attention from the girls. Does it work the other way around? What if I started playing music? Could I meet some cute guys? Or at least meet new people, make new friends? And I told my parents that I wanted music lessons. So they bought me a guitar and I signed up for music school. And I quit after 1 year. I really hated the theory, but I loved to play the guitar, and I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to do it my own way. I wanted to make my own music. So I kept practicing. I kept practicing so hard that even my schoolwork was neglected by it. And of course, my parents didn't really like it. And your parents, I love them, and they love me, and they just want the best for you. They want you to get good grades. They want you to get a degree, get a job, also you can have a good future. And if you do music, you don't really have a future. I didn't really get supported by my parents for my music at that time. And it was really frustrating to have everyone against you. And when you're in puberty, the whole world is against you. And so I outed my frustrations in my very first songs. And a little time later, I was waiting for a train to get back home, and there was still a lot of time left. So I decided to go down the street and just play for myself. Not with the intention to attract people's attention, but just for practice. So I sat down in the park, well, the street, with my hair in front of my eyes and not minding the environment. And as I was singing, all of a sudden someone threw a coin in my bag and gave me a compliment. And I was like, hey, I'm actually pretty good at this. And that moment, I realized that what I do is meaningful. It's being appreciated by others. And on top of that, I love to do it. And this was my first time ever busking, kind of. And I did it again, and again, and again. And little by little, I got more guts, and I became more confident. I wasn't as shy as back then. I dared to speak in public now. I dared to sing in public. So from sitting down with my hair in front of my eyes to standing up, standing out, and showing the people what I'm capable of. I changed. I blossomed. Music made me blossom. I changed on the inside and out. I share my music, my feelings, and most people like it. But throughout the years, I have learned that you can't please everyone. It happens sometimes that when I'm playing in the streets, people give me a dirty look, or they make this rude gesture. I've had drunk people trying to steal money from my case, homeless people complaining that they don't get anything because of me, or the shop manager offering me a job in a shoe shop so I would realize how annoying people like me are. And I was at this living room concert, a private gig, and I asked the hostess if I could go around with my hat. And she said yes. And so I started playing, and halfway the gig, I told the audience if they wanted to. They didn't have to, but if they wanted to, they could put some change in my hat. So I passed the hat, and I continued playing. And I looked around, and some people were actually putting change in my hat, so it was okay. But then suddenly the hat disappeared. And I didn't see it until the end of my gig, where it was back on the table right next to me. And then this man came up to me, and he told me that he took away my hat. He said I was embarrassing myself and the hostess. I couldn't go around my hat anymore. And I tried explaining him that the hat is symbolic. It's not just money, it's making a connection with your audience. And he just explained that even though I explicitly told the people that they didn't have to put change in the hat, he said they would still do so, but against their will. I was boiling inside. I tried explaining him, but he didn't seem to understand. He didn't want to understand. And I was feeling down for a few days, but that wouldn't stop me from going on. I kept playing. I kept playing in the streets. And on one of my times I was busking, I saw this man. I noticed him standing there for like more than 20 minutes. And then he came to me, and then he said, I've been going through a lot lately. I haven't had it easy. But then I heard you sing. You really reached me. You make me forget my problems, even for a little while. Thank you. I have the power to give a little happiness and a little hope to people. And what just happened with that man starts happening all the time. And this is a note someone left me when I was busking in Bratislava. It says, thank you for this emotion, this free love you give to us. Love and fun. Keep it going. And that's true. If you keep going, you'll get there. You'll reach your goal. Keep going, and you'll get there. And that gave me hope. It encouraged me to keep going. So I decided to take my music to a higher level. I wanted to connect with people on a bigger scale. I wanted something tangible to prove myself with to the world. An album, maybe. But I couldn't do it on my own. I needed help from people like you. So I've launched a crowdfunding campaign. It's called Some Change for a Chance. And I was heard by the people I called out to. They gave me a chance, and they wanted to be a part of my project. And as you can see, it worked. I kept going with the help of several people, and I got there. I share my true self, my feelings, with complete strangers. But the people who accept these feelings, they give me something in return. They encourage me to keep going and to never give up. And there will always be people against you. They won't understand and they won't approve of what you're doing. But if you really believe, if you really feel that what you do is meaningful, and if you love doing it, then just keep going. So I encourage all of you to do what you love and never give up. Thank you.